United Kingdom has vowed to crack down on modern slavery across the world, including in Nigeria, identified as the fourth largest source of human trafficking to the European country. For more on this, we have with us in the studio African Affairs analyst Emmanuel Okonkwo. Many thanks for joining us, Emmanuel.
Thank you very much.
What do you make of it? Nigeria is not just a destination. Nigeria is a transit and a destination. Little wonder that we are about the fourth largest, really, in the world. What does that say?
Well, it says that we have a crisis in our hands. If we are fourth in the world, that's a shocking statistics. That means that we've got people that should be in our country, people who should contribute to national development, and they are traveling out illegally. And you got to understand that with illegal human trafficking, you don't really know how many people are trafficking. There's no idea of who's going out, how many are going out. So I think there are many things that we should be number 4 in. To be number 4 in human trafficking is not nice. It's not good. It's not.
But do you think UK is just talking tough? Can they walk the talk?
I think they can. I think human trafficking affects them. Because the same process that traffics human being is the same process that you have a lot of crime around human trafficking. So I think they have the resources. I think they have the will to do it. What I want to see is more details to make this work. Then there has to be more intimate cooperation between their government and ours. So you could say whatever you want to say in London. The problem is what's happening in Lagos. What's happening in Port Harcourt. What are you going to put on the ground? I work with a lot of those people. I run an NGO, Icon. The people who are trafficking, who are traveling because there are no jobs. So I like the United Kingdom to come. I like to see real, hands-on, practical. How do we get these people gainfully employed? Because the man who's gainfully employed, 70% of them wouldn't be traveling.
But this is not even the first time, because I remember sometime last year, even the EU came up with an idea and said, okay, give some kind of grant to the developing world to take care of themselves. And the issue that kept cropping up was it the problem of leadership? Even if you give the African countries this money and the leaders don't get it right?
Well, it is true. The leadership here, you see, they're talking about human trafficking in London and in the West. But our leadership is not seeing it as an emergency. So you send these grants to them, they're not seeing it as a crisis. So there has to be either you short circuit the leadership here and find a way to do it directly, or you get our leadership to realize that we are losing people who should actually be here. And so what I would like to see is practical strategy to help these people. I see them all the time. Unemployment is the main reason why they're going out. Lack of education. So if you're going to reduce, you're not going to completely stop it.
You can mitigate it.
You could reduce it.
Okay. The last time you were here, we're talking about some who voluntarily returned from Libya, and we raised the issue of rehabilitation back to the society.
Yes. And
that what NAPTIP will perhaps just do, and the other agencies involved will be to feed them and give them transport fare back to their homes. How will that help?
Well, that's not going to really help. Obviously, the guys have come back. They asked to come back by themselves, but giving them transport money back to their homes is really nothing. They'll go home, say hi to their parents, and they are back out again to do the same thing. There has to be a more holistic solution. Let me say that once again. We haven't seen this as a national crisis, or until we see this as a national crisis. Maybe because the people who are traveling are really poor people. The kind of people who make these journeys are not the kind of people that we're concerned about.
But in any case, it's the poor that will make such.
Absolutely. So maybe they're not seen as. They're not seen as people that are worth anything. If once we begin to see them as people who are worth something, then we are going to do something about it.
I understand that NAPTIP is trying to do something with the whistleblowing policy. They're trying to buy into it and say, okay, fine, if you blow the whistle on any trafficker that you know, you get so amount.
Yes.
Do you think Nigerians will cash in on that?
I don't think that's a solution. I think whistleblowing is dealing with the symptom, not the root cause. You got to change the. You have to deal with the economic situation that's producing human traffickers. Whistleblowing is not the solution.
Okay, but is that an excuse really that you don't have a job? So check out and prostitute yourself. Is that an excuse?
It's not a reasonable excuse. But when you're in their shoes, when you go 2 days without eating, all kinds of nonsense ideas begin to make sense. Okay. That's what it is. I'm not justifying what they're doing, but I can understand why they're doing it.
All right, we'll leave it there. Many thanks for your time and contributions, Emmanuel Okonkwo, African Affairs Analyst.